And we are coming up on 15 seconds to start. All right, and we are underway. And Mikey, they are absolutely flying. The Trek riders and Giant riders are out in the front. So your number 5 rider there, leading it out on the inside. He's getting up out of the saddle, leading the group up towards the feed zone. They are hammering. We got one rider with a chain issue. He's trying to get that worked out. But the rest of the field is charging hard. Looks like 2 potential mechanicals here in here prior to the feed zone. So a couple mechanical issues for 2 riders as they were approaching the feed zone. They are both back up and running. And we've got a big mess here on that first tight section of single track. Riders trying to do everything they can, scooting around, trying to sneak in. And I don't know, that's questionable. We're seeing some riders here making some questionable moves. I'm going to leave that to our officials to say whether any of those moves are truly legal that were just happening. But we got a nice, long, big train working its way up the single track, up towards that tight S. And our leaders coming through. It looks like Riley Amos potentially at the front right now. Andrew Lesperance looks like he's in there as well. So for the next 7 laps, these elite men are going to be eating nails and bleeding out of their eyeballs. You bet they're going to dig deep, burn hard, and feel the pain. And then the giant rider, right? So that's going to be Carter Woods. So looking like Carter Woods in the lead. Riley Amos second wheel, and that's possibly either Peter or Quentin DeSera. As third wheel here. They are moving quick, and we are seeing a little bit of a spread there. Nothing significant yet.
But yes, they are moving quick, Josh.
Yeah, it's not going to be long till we see them approach here, the Air Force Hill Zone, and they make their way into the Coliseum area. 4 minutes into this lap, they are well into the single track on the first third.
What do you think we're going to see as a lap time? You want to hazard a guess?
I'm guessing we're going to see probably somewhere between 10 and 11 and a half minutes. But here they come, working their way towards Air Force Hill. And yeah, that looks like the Giant Rider in the lead. Here they go up and over the other side. And big string of riders. Good space between every rider here, which means as they bunch up, going up and over Air Force Hill, it's going to still make for some smooth riding.
I believe that is because that looks like a Giant Rider, right? So like giant colors, right? And yeah, and then this Andrew Les bronze. That's right. No, there's Amos right there. 5 is Quentin DeSera.
So it looks like Quentin DeSera is your number 3 rider, and Riley Amos sitting P4 right now.
They are ripping this lap, though. To think it took them just under 5 minutes to make it to Air Force Hill is just mind-boggling.
Is that right? Yeah, that was under 5 minutes.
So yeah, under 5 minutes to Air Force Hill. These gentlemen, well, let's just say this, they don't come any faster, especially here on the continent of North America. And what a stream we're getting from our good friends at InsiderMTB.com. Great footage right there. I'll tell you what, we're able to see a lot of action as these riders double up some of these moves. They're making their way back up Air Force Hill. Here they go up the ridge one more time.
They're entering the rock garden as we speak.
So keep your eyes peeled. Here we go. They are going to be ripping over the tabletop. Over the double, looking strong and steady. Not too much flash, just doing the jump because it's the quickest way to go. But this is how you do it quickly. And some of these riders getting bunched up right here. But you'll see the difference between those riders that double it and those that don't. Couple good cases right there, but nobody getting hurt too bad. They are in and out of that style zone.
Making their way through the Coliseums, twists and turns, berms, jumps, getting ready to set up for the Kenda Power Climb, their first time up it this afternoon.
That big yellow Pirelli. I think that might be, no, that's purple.
So we got Maxis, Pivot. No, that's Trek, so that's Riley Amos.
So it looks like Riley Amos has made his way up to third wheel here as we charge up the base of the Kenda Power Climb. It is still a full group, no separate lead group yet.
1, 2, 3, 4.
It's a group of about 10 riders climbing up the Kenda Power Climb, and it looks as though perhaps a couple riders right behind might be trying to bridge up. Right now, number 5, Quentin DeSera making a move on Riley Amos to move into third spot.
Yeah, it looks like the number 2 bib is sitting second wheel. That's Riley Amos as they make their way up the hill. And you look at the pace they're going at. We are finally starting to see some groups break up. And we got that group of 10 out there in the front. And then the next group looks like a group of 3 riders. One rider making a move, opening up a gap down to chase 2.
What beautiful images we're getting from InsiderMountainBike.mtb.com, InsiderMTB.com, giving us great pictures out here. Phenomenal drone and camera work by this crew. And here they are reaching the top of the climb, dropping into the roller coaster.
We are 9 minutes into this lap.
Yeah, so it's 4:09 right now. So they're looking at a 14-minute lap. What was the fastest one? Are you timing this lap?
That's just, I don't know what that is actually.
I don't know either. No.
No, no idea.
These guys will go faster than the women's lap, though.
Oh, and yeah. Duh.
So we'll know the women's lap was slower.
Okay, so there's 4:19:15. Okay, so there's been 10 minutes and 17 seconds.
We just cracked the 10-minute mark of this race, coming up on 10 minutes and 30 seconds in. Our riders are in the bottom part of that roller coaster section, approaching the flatter spots towards the bottom, almost to the Dry Creek crossing. Do you think they're going to go sub 14, Josh? What do you think?
You know, it's possible. At the pace they're going, they are moving quick, and we saw some 14-minute laps there in our U23 men's race. So I definitely we're going to see quicker than that here at this one. But it remains to be seen until they cross the line.
11 minutes. Who's drinking a cocktail? That's fine.
So here they are coming to the Dry Creek bed. Around the Great Oak they go. They are on the home stretch. We're looking at probably 4:13, 4:12, and some change on this first lap.
These racers are flying towards the finish line to end lap number 1 of 7. And they are throwing down a 12-minute and 10-second lap. That is incredible.
Yeah, unofficially 12 minutes, about 11 seconds for that first lap. Pretty unbelievable there, Mikey. And Carter Woods in the lead. There's Sean Fincham, Braden Lang in the number 3 spot. Andrew Lesperance sitting 4th. Quentin DeSera in 5th. 6th place, Braden Johnson. 7th place, Riley Amos. 8th, that's Tyler Orshold. 9th, that's Carson Beard. And 10th, Robbie Day. And that lead group has bunched up to about 20 or so riders.
And Tyler Orshold's team name, Zerono?
But yeah, right now on the road, man, it is a road race peloton. Look at that. They are 3 and 4 wide, bunching up, getting organized. Riders not making a move. They got to do something here because the single track is coming up at any minute. And it's going to be interesting to see what happens when they approach that single track corner. In the meantime, Brian Mader, Garrett Genema, Landon Farnsworth, and John Westling coming into the lap finish arch. Things start to thin out. They're going to have to go single file right here.
But it is still a huge group of riders all together heading into the single track.
And there's like 20 of them there.
Here's that tight corner. They had a overall, they're getting through it smoothly. That's going to force them single file onto the single track. They get a little bit of a descent, kind of catch their breath a little bit before they start this next little climb.
We just had Zach Petty come through, Kirill Trasov, Evan Arthur, Eric Fernando Godinez Pena, and Blaine Maddox coming through the start-finish arch recently. Reminder, our awards podium scheduled for 5:30 today. All top 5 riders to the podium at 5:30. Let's make sure we have a big crowd of spectators there and make a lot of noise.
Matthew Grady and Josh Tudor coming through the chute right now. Time trial mode is the way to do it when the wind is up and you're out there flying solo. Abraham Sanchez coming through. He had a little trouble earlier with his chain. Good to see him back racing with us.
There goes Joshua Tudor right by us right here. He's a SoCal racer. I recognize him. And our leaders are just up the canyon from Air Force Hill, hitting that little booter that drops you down into that left-hand berm.
So we're seeing our leaders come through that single track, winding their way around the approach to Air Force Hill. And that lead group starting to break up just a little bit. We got 2 riders off the front, looks like. Well, let's see. They're going to come around out right in front of our faces here in about 3 seconds. So it looks like it is Carter Woods in the lead, Riley Amos in second, and Andrew Lesperance in third as the group starts to peel apart just a little bit. Correction, that is one of our Bear National riders. Off the front here, likely that's going to be Braden Johnson at the front right now. So Braden Johnson off the front, and Riley Amos hot on his wheel. Andrew Lesperance out there third wheel, trying to hang on to the pace.
And that's one of the DeSera brothers in fourth, trying to close that gap. These riders are just flying.
And Mike, it's amazing to think about this, though, that the pace these riders are going at, it's a little different pace than either of us mere mortals would go at, right? And so a lot of different dynamics start to come into play. The G-forces in the turns, compressions on the dips, things that we wouldn't normally jump then become jumps. So like at this level, at this speed, it's a whole different course than what you or I or any other mere mortal would ride.
Oh, for sure. I mean, look at that. They just clear that double that I wouldn't even think about jumping. And now they're on the climb, leading into the rock garden, the A-line drop with the tabletop right after it.
Yeah, so 3 riders coming together. That is, of course, Carter Woods, Andrew Lesperance, and Braden Johnson coming out through our style section. And anyone who doesn't jump that double, man, they are burning up a lot of matches just by not jumping it. But again, as we talked with Kate Courtney earlier, her interview, you really got to be in the right mindset to actually do that. So you don't want to take away from any of these riders that aren't jumping it, calling them like poor in their technical skills or scared to jump. It's just that risk assessment and making the right choices for your own race.
It looks as though our first two riders might be carving out a little bit of a gap to third. Third place, Max's factory rider, Andrew Ellisprance.
Yeah, so it's Carter Woods and Braden Johnson. Less France? Less France, yeah. Less France. Yeah, less France. Not more France, less France.
So there it is. You've got Braden Johnson. You've got Riley Amos and Andrew Lesperance, your top three riders there. Has a few more riders jump on, so you got 5 together, almost 6 in the lead group now, but that lead group whittled way down from what it was a lap ago. And Mikey, that Kenda power climb, we got to get a little taste of that yesterday, man. It hurts. You feel it.
You certainly do. Certainly do feel it. I almost got off and walked.
Yeah, but you rode strong. You did pretty darn good.
I did so well that I now have a hill named after me out here.
Carter Woods hanging onto the back of that lead group as we see some moves starting to be made there. That looks like maybe rider at number 6 making a move. Braden Johnson? No, correction. That is the giant rider. Carter Woods jumping to the front there as they reach the top half of the ridge. And he is looking to be first on that single track descent on the backside to take him to start lap number 3.
And we are now 21 minutes into this race, about a lap and 3/4 in to 7 complete laps. They're nearing the top of the climb. It's a group of 6. Hey, look who it is. It's our UCI official, Justin Evans. Our riders are now in the roller coaster section.
So what we had, and maybe, and yeah, and what I mean cut the course, like, basically like the trail went like this, tight single track, riders got bunched up here, right here, and we started to see riders doing this, coming around. It's like 6 or 8 riders. It's on film, we have it on film. You can check it off and it's like, you're not playing for it in front of you.
Two laps down, 6 riders in the lead group. Carter Woods working his way onto the back of that group to make it 6, but little bits of gaps here and there. Again, we're early on into this race. These gaps aren't meaning a whole lot. These riders still kind of testing the pace to see how the second half of the race is going to play out.
And we are now down to a solid group of 6 riders. Braden Johnson is in the lead.
Hard to tell. No, Braden Johnson's third wheel, and then this is either Riley Amos or Andrew Lesperance in that's leading the pace out.
And here we are, they're getting ready to hit the finish line road to end their second lap.
So Andrew Lesper, Sean Fincham. So coming in this lead group, you've got riders like Sean Fincham, Riley Amos, Braden Johnson, Andrew Lesprince, Braden Lane, Carter Woods, and Austin Beard. That is your lead group. There's Chase 1 coming through with Peter DeSera, Quentin DeSera, Austin Beard, also Kobe Freeburn, Carson, and Kobe Freeburn in there. So those two groups not too far apart from each other. So about 7 seconds separating our leaders from chase number 1, that group of 4 riders. And in that group of 4 chases, that is Tyler Orschel in there from the Zeruno factory team as they make their way through the feed zone.
Also in that chase group, I believe we had Peter DeSera and Quentin DeSera as well, both riding for Pivot.
So currently 5 laps to go here.
When the riders rolled through at the end of 2 laps, you had Sean Fincham leading the pack through with Riley Amos, Braden Johnson, Andrew Lesprince right there, Braden Lang, Carter Woods, and Austin Beard. Then you had a chase group with Quentin DeSera, Peter DeSera, Tyler Orschel, and Carson Beard.
10, 10, 10, 10, 11.
Riding through right now, we had Samuel Brem and Jeremy Norris, Malcolm Barton and Brian Matter, Landon Farsworth and Julian Baudebert coming through the finish line right now, ending their second lap. Following our leaders on the screen right now, we have a group of 5. They've whittled it down just a little bit as they're getting ready to approach Air Force Hill for the 3rd time. These are our leaders on the screen, right?
So our leader there taking a little bit of a flyer off the front, trying to work his way quick and twist through the technical sections a little quicker than the rest of the field, putting a gap between him and everybody else. Doing a great job of stretching out his lead. And this could be either Sean Fincham or Carter Woods. The helmet is white, the bike is white, the kit is blue. And there goes Riley Amos up the hill right now. So Riley Amos actually our leader. And we've got the Giant Rider Carter Woods on second wheel. Third wheel looks like Andrew Lesperance and Braden Johnson back to fourth. Riley Amos in the tuck, descending down, looking strong through our single track, coming down into our speed and style section. We're going to see him in the rock garden here in just a moment.
And here's Riley Amos about to conquer the rock garden yet again.
5 riders hot on his heels, though. They are bunched up, though. I think that's going to come to their detriment as they work through this twisty technical section. Let's see if Riley Amos can put on some distance here. Riley Amos has been absolutely on fire this early season here with his strong finishes at the Specialized Cactus Cup just a few weeks ago. And here at the U.S. Pro Cup presented by Orange Seal, he is absolutely having an incredible weekend. Today is no exception. Little trouble there from one of our riders having a quick mechanical there. Check that out, Mikey, right here. Can't quite make out who that is, but quick drivetrain issue, it appears. Trying to get the chain back on. And either way, he's back on and run. It cost him about 10 places and a good 15 to 20 seconds. That's tough. Meanwhile, Riley Amos still out in front as they work their way up the Kenda power climb. So your current top 5 looks like this. Riley Amos in the lead. Carter Woods in second place. Number 7 rider Andrew Lesperance sitting third. Braden Lang from the Scott presented by Orange Seal team sitting fourth wheel and riding fifth. That is your number 5 rider, Quentin DeSera.
At the top of the climb, Riley Amos had a 6-second gap over second place.
So, Mikey, here we are working our way through our third lap here. working towards 4 laps to go. And you put yourself in this lead group, not so much in Riley Amos's position, but back here in this group of 4 that's chasing him down. What's on your mind right now? What are you trying to think about doing?
Keeping placement, moving up a spot, just pacing myself up the climb so I don't blow too early. It looks like this group of 4 behind Riley, they've been jockeying around a little bit, changing position on the climb.
Yeah, also assessing the riders around you, kind of getting an idea of where they're strong, where they're not so strong on this specific course. And, of course, all these guys tend to do a fair amount of racing together. So they know each other a little bit, but, early in the season, fitness levels being what they are, that kind of in-race assessment going to be key to figuring out your strategy against your competition.
Exactly. You race against the same people you race against every weekend. You get to know how they race and how they ride and what their strong points are and their weak points, and you use that to your advantage.
Here's Riley Amos, your leader, 21 years young, riding for Trek Factory Racing. This young man is going places, and today that is the finish line as he stretches out his lead.
But look at this, a move to try to bridge up to Riley. Second place has created a gap over third as they head into the creek bed area near the end of the lap.
Yeah, there they go around the Great Oak, around, and they are going to be on the home stretch, so it's going to be interesting to see what the time gaps are when they cross to go. This will be 4 laps to go.
Second place out of the saddle, bridging up to Riley right now. And it's 2 riders off the front as they end their 3rd lap.
Yeah, paying attention to that position to our number 2 rider. That's Braden Lang. That position, these riders with the wind kicking up, they're kind of looking to be as aero as possible and get every little advantage they can. Not far behind them, though, Quentin DeSera, Andrew Lesperance, and Carter Woods. So this is still anybody's race, Mike.
It is. Carter Woods, Lesperance, and DeSera are 13 seconds back of the leaders. So our top 5 to end lap number 3. 5th place was Quentin DeSera for Pivot Cycles, and 7th was Andrew Lesperance. 3rd place was Carter Woods. 2nd place, Braden Lang, riding with number 1, Riley Amos from Trek Factory Racing. 13-second gap between 2nd and 3rd. And it looks like that gap is just going to increase, Josh.
Yeah, we're starting to see the bulk of the race start to take shape and take form in terms of the pace. The question now is anyone going to crack on this? Really tough pace is being set, and this is a really big overall full-body workout. This just isn't all legs and lungs like you might get with your traditional old-school mountain bike races up at the ski resorts like we've seen in years past. You're up, you're down, you're around. There is no zoning out on some long 4-mile climb, is there?
You mean your 90 minutes to 2.5-hour mountain bike races have passed?
Correct.
Watching our leaders right now, you can see the technical descending skills of Riley Amos. He's able to open up a little bit of a gap over Brandon Lang on the descents. But Brandon fights right back. And these two riders continue to stretch out their lead over third place.
Yeah, both of them very much at home here on this course here at Vail Lake Park. It's going to be interesting to see how this pans out because these two guys are going to be beating up on each other, looking to crack the egg. Who's going to crack first? Essentially now we are at dead center of this race here, well into our third lap. And Les Brown's and so Braden Lang and Riley Amos still riding strong out there in front, unrelenting at this pace and laying down a really quick time. They are up and out of the saddle, back and forth. They aren't messing around here with this pace.
No, but you know, they're not messing around at this pace, but it still just takes that one momentary lapse of concentration and things change in an instant.
Yeah, and I'm really feeling like Riley Amos is setting the pace, and Braden Lang from the Scott team is just matching the pace, just hanging on. And he's hanging back a little bit, giving himself some space. Looking very strategic. I wonder if...
and here we have our leaders as they approach Air Force Hill.
And there they go, up and over Air Force Hill, dropping in. And we got a 14-second gap that's keeping Riley Amos and Braden Lang ahead of the rest of the field as they wake their way up the Hecker climb. They are headed up towards the top ridge of Air Force Hill. They're going to be eventually winding their way back over to the Rock Garden.
My head drops every time I hear the Hecker climb. All right, they are cresting into the Coliseum right now at the top of Air Force Hill. And it looks as though third place is trying to get away from his fellow chasers right now. About a 7 or 8 bike length gap to fourth place.
And there's Braden Lang out in front on the Scott machine, taking over the pace setting for Riley Amos as they work their way towards that speed and style zone. They're going to be climbing up that little short climb that's going to take them to the Rock Garden, and then we're going to see him go through that rhythm section here momentarily.
So with this lead change, Josh, do you think Riley Amos is he's happy for this lead change to let Braden Lang lead, and is he taking a chance to catch his breath and get a breather from not being on the front?
Well, I think it gives him a chance to kind of see what Braden Lang's going to bring to the table here. Braden Lang is responsible for setting the pace. Lang also wants to gap out from the other guys. He's not going to sit up and ride slow because the other people are going to catch up. He doesn't want that, so he's got to push it a little bit. So this gives Riley Amos a chance to get a taste of what Braden Lang can bring to the table in terms of pace setting.
Did you see those sick tail whips over that double? That was so sweet.
Speed and style, and these guys are both bringing it here at the 2023 U.S. Pro Cup XCO Elite Men's Race here today, brought to you by Orange Seal.
Where's third and fourth, Austin? Do you want to sit in? Come in. Are you sure? Go get another cocktail.
Ty, why don't you just use those giant hooks they use on stage? Have one of those ready to go at any moment.
And Joshua Toodles out here. Good to see you racing with us today, Joshua. And our leaders are now on the Kenda Power Climb.
Yeah, and it's funny, in our cruising pace yesterday, that climb, like, okay, cool, yeah, I don't know, we climbed a little over a quarter mile, no big deal, but at the pace that Amos and Lang are going right now, this feels like you're riding up the side of one of the pyramids in Egypt.
Wait, you mean yesterday? That's exactly what I felt like when we were doing that climb, climbing up the face of a pyramid. I was gasping. I'm glad I didn't have my heart rate monitor. It would have been like 198.
You need to come hang out with me in Colorado and do these snowy hikes at 12,000 feet that we do at the ski resort every week, Mike. Carter Woods out there in no man's land. He's got in his sights our two leaders, but right behind him, I believe that's Andrew Lesperance and Quentin DeSera. Oh, top 5.
And now, near the top of the climb, Braden Lang decides, you know what? I'm going to let Riley Amos lead on the descent. Pulls over, changes spots with them. Perhaps they're working together, a little bit of drafting, but not so much on the climb. I'm pretty sure it's Braden's thinking, you know, I'm going to let Riley lead on the descent, follow his sick lines all the way down the roller coaster. Ladies and gentlemen, it's been my pleasure to be on the live feed a little bit this week, and I'm handing it over to 29-time national champion Ty Katie.
Thanks, Mike. I think you're off a little bit there, but let's.
So Ty, here we go. Yeah.
Check out the remainder of this men's race. Great action going on.
So where we're at, Ty, is our two leaders are getting ready to conclude their third lap here. They're working their way down that awesome flowy newer single track section. In towards the finish straight, and looking at the clock here, we're guessing probably another maybe 3 minutes before we see him cross the lap finish arch for the third time so far today.
Yeah, that's about right with the pace these guys are going down this descent. They'll be here pretty quick. I believe I had a beat on Carter Woods trying to get back on this and make it 3 into this lead duo right now. So let's see if Carter can latch back onto this and make this a three-man race.
Yeah, we just saw him. He's maybe 10 to 15 seconds back from our two leaders, Lang and Amos.
Yes.
That's on your phone.
You know, interesting fun fact brought up by Mike Hecker, actually, and I didn't even think about that. We've got the DeSera brothers and Carter Woods and Sean Fincham are all ex-Norco teammates after Norco folded, and they all found homes. But the one thing that hasn't changed, Josh, is they're all top 5 caliber riders here at the U.S. Pro Cup in the mix.
Well, it's funny, you know, cycling is a sport that you can be fast at for decades and decades and decades. And, of course, this is no exception. But we notice all these riders still in their mid to early 20s. Riley Amos, just 21 years old, just barely old enough to buy alcohol here. Still a kid for all intents and purposes, but riding at the top level of the sport here in California.
Well, yeah, Riley's definitely one of the special Americans. He could have chose to race U23, but he's been racing the elites for the last couple seasons. Riley's, I think, one of the new up-and-coming riders. We got Chris Blevins, and then we got Riley Amos. And I think Riley is going to be a big factor even in Fayetteville, which will be joining us in about 7 days here. So,
yeah, looking forward to Fayetteville. It's going to be a really good time. So there we go. Riley Amos and Braden Lang come through. Their first 3 laps done in 36 minutes and 50 seconds, so that's just over 12 minutes per lap.
Look at Woods trying to get back on. He's going to come over Mount Carter, get us a little 1,001, 1,002. Let's get a check. Oh, he's right there. Carter Woods is trying to get on. Riley Amos. Look at Woods burying himself. He knows he needs to get back. Is that DeSera?
That's one of the DeSera brothers.
That
rider
is
number 5.
DeSera. There's Woods.
There's Woods and
Lesby.
Andrew
All right, I'm
Lesperance.
sorry about that. Yeah, Andrew Lesperance. We call him Lesby, close friends. Oh, wow. So I had that all wrong, Josh. I apologize. Just joining the broadcast here.
Yeah, and DeSera pushing hard. He's almost closed that gap, brought it down to about 5 bike lengths. It is close here. This could be anyone's race as we're only halfway through.
So apologies, that's actually Quentin DeSera, brother of Peter DeSera in third. Apologies for that. We do have Andrew Lesperance in there, and then Carter Woods. So I had called that wrong. It's Amos and Lang, and then it's Quentin DeSera getting back on, trying to get back to that and make that a three-rider front.
Yeah, and only 15 seconds separating our top 5, rounded out by Carter Woods there in the number 5 spot. So this is anyone's race. We still have, if I am correct, we've got 4 laps to go here. So this lap, officially the halfway mark for this elite men's XCO race here at the U.S. Pro Cup Vail Lake, presented by Orange Seal, and we are seeing some great racing.
Wow, the Canadians are just packing this top 5. They're always solid even this time of the year. Let's see how this comes down. We got Amos, Lang, DeSera, Lesperance, and Woods. That's quite. Oh, we got a little breakaway here. We got some separation. Is that Amos making a run on Boca Raton? I think it is. I think Riley's put his head down. He's going to try to get some. Oh, yeah, you can tell in his cadence right now. He's trying to get away, and he's all in here, Josh.
Yeah, so this might be Lang and DeSera battling for second place here as Riley Amos starts to ride away a little bit. He is working his way up to the top of the climb, and he's actually on his way down right now, so that's going to help him put even more distance between him and Lang and DeSera.
Wow. Look at Riley just carving these apexes right now. He's on rails. Yeah, I think he's committed to this run. You can just tell in his body language that, hey, he's gonna make a go. He sensed something with Lang that said, hey, I think I can get some separation here, Josh. I think I can make this stick, and I can solo for the win here. So let's see. Or maybe he's just doing a test and then gonna let him back on.
This race is far from over. That is one thing we know for sure. And look at that.
Wow,
Right?
just beautiful shots, huh, Josh? I mean, look at the landscape right now. Californian spring after a lot of rain. Everything's popping. Colors are good. We got some of the best racers from across the globe joining us here. This race is far from over. Lang is fighting hard to get back on. He's being tested by Trek Factory rider Amos. We got DeSera in third. We got Lesperance in fourth. And we got Carter Woods rounding out the top 5. It looks like Fincham, Beard, Johnson, and Freeburn. And then Peter DeSera, the brother of Quentin, rounding out the top 10.
Yeah, and Quentin DeSera looks like he is dropping back there just a little bit. Braden Lang slowly reeling Riley Amos back.
All right, so I got a bead on. Here comes Riley Amos entering the Coliseum. He's going to head over the Kinda drop right there, and then he's going to head into the famous Mike Hecker Hill up into Air Force, and Lang is right there on him. He's not letting him go.
And look at Riley Amos power up that Hecker Hill, man. Not messing around.
What a difference between the pros and Mike Hecker from yesterday, huh, Josh?
Huge difference, man. Huge difference, that's for sure. But it's interesting to see the cadence difference there between Lang and Amos. Amos looked like he had a really even cadence. Lang spinning a pretty small gear up that hill.
Wow, they're hunkered down and putting everything in. Lang is not wanting him to get away. Woods is trying to get his way back on, but that gap is starting to grow. Look at Woods out of the saddle, pushing hard. And then you got 4th and 5th behind him, which is L'Esperance, and who else do we got? Carter Woods. So, wow, we got a lot of action going on.
Yeah, so Quentin DeSera still trying to hang on into that number 3 spot, but of course Woods and L'Esperance hungry for that 3rd spot on the podium.
All right, so we're going to come up into the famous Orange Seal Speed and Style section. It's this rock garden into the tabletop, into the double. Oh, Riley grabbing another little double there. Let's see if he's going to do the gap jump. I think he's been doing it all race. Let's see if the fatigue is set in. Maybe he'll choose not to. Here we go, Josh, heading into the rock garden.
Well, with Lang breathing down his neck like he is not relenting, I don't think either rider has a choice. If Lang backs off and doesn't do it, then that puts more time between him and Amos. If Amos doesn't do it, that allows Lang to catch up.
Lang double, so we're keeping it equal, and that gap remained the same. So top 2 men rider, at least elite men doing the double. Yeah, Lang is getting back on here a little bit. He's clawing his way back on. Riley's made a go for it, but Lang said, hey, not so fast. I'm going to go ahead and close that gap, but Riley's not waiting for him. He says, get on my wheel if you can. There, I believe, is DeSera.
Yeah, Quentin DeSera, rider number 5 there on the pivot machine. But the question is how far is Braden Lang turning himself inside out in order to claw back onto the wheel of Riley Amos? And how hard is Riley Amos working? Is he just putting along at his pace, or is he giving it everything he has?
Yeah, we don't know right now. We don't know if Riley's kind of letting him back on. We don't know how much Lang is giving. Only those guys know. So it's going to be a really good race here, Josh. I mean, the racing here all weekend's been phenomenal, hasn't it?
Yeah, absolutely, man. No lull in the action whatsoever. And, of course, that's the kind of delivery you can expect from our good friends here at the U.S. Pro Cup with live streaming on InsiderMTB.com and the incredible trails that Eric Carter and the crew from the Vailocity Trail Company have been building. It is unparalleled.
Well, shout out to the Eric Carter crew and Vailocity for putting in hundreds of man-hours to bring this course up to a little bit more of a quality World Cup spec here, using some of the features and stuff. We've been here in 2019 and 2020, completely revised course, and yeah, shout out to that crew for thank you for bringing such just a quality event back here and working with us to challenge these riders.
And there we got a good shot there of Riley Amos and Carter Woods making their way up that Kenda power climb.
So I think that's Andrew L'Esperance, and that's probably Carter Woods, and they're about to drop off onto the backside of that fun descent we talked about earlier.
Yeah, Riley on with another surge. Riley Amos breaking away from the clutches of Braden Lang, who was hanging on for dear life.
Yeah, it looks like maybe that rubber band is finally snapped, and that's what you were hinting at. How hard is Riley going? Was he just testing him? Did he have more in him? It looks like now he's starting to stretch it out, and so Lang's got to get back on. If not, Riley's going to be gone. He's going to take what I believe will be his first U.S. Cup Elite men's win here at the U.S. Cup presented by Orange Seal at Vail Lake, Josh.
Yeah, and that's got to be a tough break for Braden Lang. There's nothing worse than reeling in a rider ahead of you and having that rider look behind him and then stand up and just ride away like you were nothing.
Well, we've all been there, right? You're on the rivet. You think you've got the guy in check. He looks back, and then he just lays down the wattage. There's nothing really you can do in this sport, can you, Josh?
No, there isn't, man. That one hurts.
You know what, Josh, what I'm seeing here is that gap is extending, and I think it's exactly what we think is happening. I think Riley was putting the pressure on a little bit. Lang responded. When he saw Lang respond, he clicked it up a couple more notches, and boom, the rubber band broke.
Yeah, and as we've seen earlier in the season, Riley Amos is absolutely on fire here. He is proving the man to beat at the national caliber events, just like the U.S. Pro Cup here at Vail Lake, and today is no exception.
Well, you know, he grew up on the bear development team from Violich Farms. Julia Violich had groomed Riley and helped bring him up here. He's now a track factory rider. I apologize for that. And he's now at the top of the game. He's one of the, I'd say, premier Americans other than Chris Blevins. So I think what we're looking at here is his first elite win. Uh-oh, I heard the crowd yell. Well, do we have a crash? Can we get... Riley heading into the finish. We heard the crowd yell, Josh. I thought maybe there was a crash on the Orange Seal Speed and Style section. I'm not sure. We don't have a camera on that right now. Let's stay focused on Riley. He's grabbing a drink. He's heading into this vicious headwind that comes through the start straight, but it looks like he's now fully in control, and that rubber band has stretched and broke, and it looks like he's on his own. Let's see what happens here, but it looks like Lang is in difficulty.
Yeah, and we could be seeing a repeat of what happened with Haley Batten and the rest of the elite women's field, and we are 2 laps to go. Two
to go. So Riley coming up over Mount Carter. Riley's going to be coming right at us, Josh. Oh, he's tucked in. Amos is arrow right now. He's committed to this move. Cadence looks good. Wattage is really out there, Josh. And then what we got is we got Lang in second, the number 22 trying to hunt down Riley Amos, the Trek Factory. We got a battle here on our hands.
Yeah, get a close-up of those facial expressions. Amos looking a little more composed, a little more relaxed than Braden Lang was, who is struggling to hang on to that wheel of Riley Amos.
And then I got the number 5 of Quentin DeSera on the pivot team trying to get back on. He's looking up the road. He knows Lang and Amos are right there. He's going to try to stay in it and try to grab that wheel, get out of this headwind, get a little break. And then we got a 2-man chase. I believe this is going to be, it's going to be Giant Carter Woods and Lesby. Andrew Lesprance from Maxis getting on there. So maybe they work together and get back onto Sarah. And then we got number 8 coming across. He's kind of solo in no man's land. He's going to try to get back on from the Victoria team.
Yeah. And if you ask me, would I rather be in second and third place as a solo rider at this point in the race, or would I rather be back in 4th and 5th with another rider? I think at this point, I want to be back in 4th and 5th with another rider to work with.
Well, with this headwind for sure, and then we got another group of 3 coming through right here. And they might be able to work together. Again, Josh, I don't know how much these riders have in the tank. This is a very difficult course. It is deceiving, but as we know from our pre-ride yesterday, it's going to wear you down. You are always on the pedals. And so even if you're in a pack, but all 3 of you are worn down, you may not be able to bring back Amos and DeSera in the group.
Yeah, death by 1,000 cuts. This course is truly a full-body workout. Like I was saying earlier, this is not some old-school traditional ski resort mountain bike course where you ride miles to the top and then you descend miles to the bottom and that's your lap. No, there's a little bit of everything out there.
Number 3 is, I believe number 3 is probably going to be Peter DeSera, Quentin's brother, coming through. And then we got a bear development rider as well coming through. So this field is starting to get strung out a little bit.
Yeah, we just saw number 4. That was Tyler Orschel coming through from the Zeruno Factory team heading up towards the feed zone. And there's rider number 17, another one of our Bear National teams, Austin Beard, coming through, headed up towards the feed zone.
Well, Josh, we're getting a lot of shadows in these canyons now. Sun is starting to set. I wonder if that's going to play a little factor with the riders. as you get into these single track corners.
I was just thinking about that, man, and proper eyewear, absolutely key as we wear into the late afternoons. You're going in and out of the shadows. You don't want something that's so dark that it looks like it's nighttime in the shadows. You also don't want something that's going to blind you when you come out of the shadows.
And then we just had another group of 4 come by going through the feed zone. So this thing is splintered all over this course right now. The damage has been done. I think we're looking at a win by Trek Factory rider Riley Amos, and I believe that's going to be his first win, barring disaster. It looks like he's in control, but let's not count out Lang. He's still in this thing.
Yeah, I think we count Lang definitely on the podium, likely top 3. Andrew Lesperance going to probably be in the mix there for the top 5. And, of course, Riley Amos, man, all he's got to do is keep it rubber side down and hold that pace for just a little bit longer. And that was one thing we know is these guys started young racing. They've grown up learning how to suffer. So I don't see that pace slowing down.
Yeah, and let's not forget the crafty Canadians of the DeSera brothers, Quentin and Peter DeSera within the top 10. Quentin running really strong right now, ahead of Peter. So this thing is still not over. And then, man, as we're winding down this 2023 U.S. Pro Cup presented by Orange Seal, we got some great action going on.
Yeah, and you can bet there's a big bag of ketchup-flavored potato chips waiting for the DeSera brothers at the finish line when they cross after all that hard work out there. Props to our Canadians out there.
I'm hoping they're wearing the Canadian tuxedo up on the podium today. And look at Riley in a full tuck. Oh, that rubber band has been broken. He's up and over the drop. He's going to be coming to the famous Hecker Hill. I have no beat on. There's Lang. Lang just coming in now. Wow, this looks like the decisive move to me.
Yeah, Lang's still riding strong, but that gap has increased, and no sign of Riley Amos letting up on the pace.
Wow, he came up Hecker Hill at 14 miles an hour. Unbelievable.
That's 14 miles an hour faster than Mike Hecker went up it yesterday.
Well, we saw that on the Instagram post on the U.S. Cup. That was tough. He tried to paperboy that. But in all fairness, Mike had 3 tri-tips, and it helped us out on the live stream.
What he needed was 3 tries up the hill.
So I see Andrew Lesperance. I see Carter Woods coming in. We got more guys coming in, but it looks like Riley's in control. I've got Quentin DeSera attacking Air Force Hill. This isn't done yet, but this is starting to unfold. I think we're starting to see that men's top 5 on the podium right now.
Yeah, and what's wild here is even our riders at the back of this elite category could absolutely ride circles around us out here. So it's just wild to see what they're doing at the front. I mean, the pace they're keeping, the skill at which they're riding, the mental processing, as well as the physical toll this is taking on each of our riders is impressive.
Well, let's be honest. Every rider out here, especially even the top 10, are phenomenal athletes, phenomenal talent. You know, everyone has to have you got to have respect for these guys, you know. And so Riley's making it look easy, and he's long gone, but doesn't mean that 5th through 10th are not extremely talented athletes, are they?
Yeah, and Riley Amos zipping his way through that speed and style course, getting another big air off the big Carter double there as he winds his way around that big sweeping S-turn.
Oh, and here we go. Let's see if we get it. Yeah. Oh, a little style from Lang on the Orange Seal speed and style. That has proved to be the section of the week, hasn't it, Josh?
Yeah, he wanted to make sure the cameras could see that Scott logo on the bottom of the down tube on his bike for sure.
Yeah, in the Supercross world, we'd say that's showing the people the drain plug, getting that thing flat. You know, so a little bit of MX style there. I love it. So we got a beat on Riley Amos heading up the Boca Raton switchbacks. Who else do we got out here on our split screens, Josh?
Well, of course, Braden Lang trailing by an even wider margin now as we are working our way towards 1 lap to go once Riley Amos crosses the line.
Hey, you know what, though? Let's give a shout-out to Robbie Day. He's in 11th, the Bear National Team. Tyler Orschel, Austin Beard of the Bear National Team, Daxton Mox. Everywhere I look this whole weekend, Bear National Team is somewhere or at the front, aren't they, Josh?
Yeah, they got quite the army of talented riders here, and they are showing that off in full gear here. Coming through the chute now, there's Callan Norman from the Confluence 928 Verde Valley Cycles team out of Cottonwood, Arizona. Joseph Messi coming through, and there's Eric Fernando Godinez Pena. So it looks like Amos caressing the top of the power climb, and there's Lang working his way up. He's still got a ways to go. DeSera looks like he's potentially third wheel right now as they go up that Kenda power climb. Carter Woods, though, if that's who I think it is, he is making some time up on Peter DeSera, working to lock in third place.
So we got Riley Amos, the leader, descending the backside of the Kenda power climb. He is just on rails right now, hitting every apex, ripping this course apart. It looked like DeSera, Quentin, it was getting back onto Lang. Let's see how this unfolds.
So Riley Amos going to be 1 to go when he comes underneath that lap finish arch here in just a few moments. He is working his way down through those final sections of downhill single track. He's out there in the dry lake bed, coming around the Great Oak and onto the home stretch.
Wow, this kid from Durango's on fire. I mean, we're old school. Is this the next Ned Overland possibly?
Could quite possibly be. I'll tell you what, man, there is a strong bunch of riders that come out of that Durango contingency. I was chatting with Emmett McManus, one of our 16, 17-year-old riders on the plane on the way in, and we were talking about the Tuesday Night Worlds there in Durango. It really is the Tuesday Night Worlds there.
No, yeah, I'm pretty good friends with Todd Wells myself, and so obviously another Durango native. There's something in the water there. I don't know what it is, but they sure produce quite the quality of rider. But to produce what I'm seeing out of Riley Amos, he might be the next Ned Overland. Wouldn't that be exceptional, Josh?
Absolutely.
And here comes the number. Here's Riley Amos coming out for his last lap. He's tucked in. He's got the wattage down. He does not look like he's given up. A quick look over his shoulder. He sees no one there. He's buried it. He's on the pedal. He's going to head into the feed zone. Let's see if he grabs some water.
Now check this out. The gap, only 26 seconds down to Braden Lang.
Here's Braden. Yep.
And at the pace they're riding at, Braden Lang, I don't know, unless he can really step on it, there's still a chance something could happen.
What a ride, though, from the Orange Steel rider, Braden Lang. He's all alone in second. This would be a great finish for him. But, yeah, like you say, that gap right now, and Riley looked really strong. Doesn't mean Braden can't get back on, but that's a lot of ground to make up. Here's DeSera. DeSera's taking time checks. He's locked in for the pivot team. Right now, it feels like this is the top 3 right now for me, Josh.
Yeah, Peter DeSera can just make out the silhouette of Braden Lang there in the number 2 spot, but I don't think Braden Lang can see where Riley Amos is, and that is a very tough place to be for Braden Lang in terms of the pace.
Well, there's the real battle is the 7, and I think the 7 is Andrew Lesperance, and I think that is Carter Woods for the Giant team. There's the battle locked in, and then we got number 6 coming through, so he's trying to get back on. The Victoria rider is pushing hard still. And then, of course, we got a duo of the Bear Development team. They're everywhere we look this weekend, Josh.
Yeah, this has definitely been bear country this weekend here at the U.S. Pro Cup. No shortage of bears on the podium. And, of course, one of their alumni gonna make it on the podium with almost a money-back guarantee. Riley Amos, the Trek Factory rider, like you said, coming from that Bear National Development team, riding at the front.
Yeah, no, one of our sponsors, Violich Farms, Julia Violich, is a big supporter of the Bear Development team. They really do crank out the champions. And speaking of bear, that Mike Hecker Hill is a bear of a climb, especially doing that 7-8 times, huh, Mike? Or, huh, Josh?
Yeah, but that's one of so many climbs that they're doing 7 times, you know. Again, it's just climb after climb, just beating on you over and over and over again.
So let's go through our top 10. It's Amos, Lange, DeSera, Lesperance, Woods, Fincham, Freebird, Johnson, Beard, and Robbie Day coming in. I'm surprised to see Peter DeSera in 11th and Tyler Orschel in 12th. They actually had strong showings in Fayetteville last year. But, you know, those Canadians could be coming out of a real heavy winter, and they're just shaking off the rust right now, huh, Josh?
Well, who's to say this is their A race, right? So they might be saving it up for Fayetteville. We're gonna find out here in about 2 weeks.
Well, and a lot of these riders have told me they use the U.S. Cup to shake out the rust, to go ahead and figure out where they're at before they really hit that World Cup schedule in May.
Yeah, and those shadows are getting long there, man. It is getting dark down there in the bottoms of those canyons, in those washes. And so again, eyesight, key here. Lens choice, lens tint, absolutely important here in this late afternoon race.
Absolutely, Josh. This race is not over. Now the elements with the setting sun can play a factor. If you're not on your toes, you can lose that front end in the shadow, and your race is over.
Absolutely, and as they come around, think about coming up and over Mount Carter here with the sun right in your eyeballs. Any of those times that you're riding directly west.
Wow, big group here. I got another group coming over Mount Carter, 4 of them. They're all looking at each other. Who's going to pull through? I got Pivot. I got Bear. They're all talking to each other. Wow, they're playing a chess match out there still, aren't they, Josh?
Yeah, they're all one to go here. This is the final lap. So here's what I see. They're probably grabbing that last feed right here, taking it easy. After that, man, it is every man for himself here in this group of 4, and it's going to get blown to pieces.
Well, someone's going to light the match, aren't they? You got to make a move. You can't just sit around all day. It's the penultimate lap. But as we see the 4 going out, we see Riley Amos coming in. And, wow, he looks good, man. He's pumping the terrain. He's staying low, staying out of the wind. Wow, quick over there, and then he's going to head into Hecker Hill. Let's see how quick he gets up Hecker Hill. We know that wasn't good for Mike yesterday, but now we're watching the professionals.
And popping up within just a few seconds, working his way up the ridge there at Air Force Hill. Riley Amos charging ahead, working his way to that top spot on the podium, coming up at 5:30.
And then Lang is coming in, so Lang is still on there, but I still think that this race is, we're looking at the top 3 right now. I don't think we'll see any positions change barring disaster. And so I think it's going to be Amos, Lang, and then here comes DeSera, Quentin DeSera. I didn't have Quentin on my list. I had Peter as possibly a top 3, but hey, Quentin is a top rider himself and not to be ever factored out.
So yeah, 30 seconds separating Braden Lang, your number 2 rider, and Riley Amos, who is in the lead. And here it is, Riley Amos working his way in towards that speed and style section. Big air up on that first double. He's going to work his way back up Air Force Hill, turn the corner, come up around towards that rock garden. The spectators cheer him on as he's up and out of the saddle, not going to let it go. He is still on it, and he's going to stay on it. Wrapping his way down over the log, hitting the tabletop. Up and over the double, taking it easy, playing it safe. So fatigue setting in, and that was visible as he went over those jumps. Looking merely to be efficient, maintain a good speed, but not risking any kind of flair or style there. Just getting over the jumps and being efficient. Riley Amos on the charge, just looking absolutely phenomenal and flawless out here today. The rest of the field, Braden Lang, Quentin DeSera, Andrew Lesperance, and Carter Wood, rounding out your top 5, putting on a spectacular performance as well. Don't count them out. They are riding absolutely strong here on this final lap here at the 2023 U.S. Pro Cup Vail Lake, presented by Orange Seal. I want to thank the folks at USA Sports Inc. and InsiderMTB.com for our live stream here. It has been absolutely amazing getting this unparalleled footage of this cross-country mountain bike race here at the U.S. Pro Cup. Can't thank the team enough for all the hard work they've done. Also want to give a big thanks out to Team Big Bear and the race production staff, our timing and scoring crew, and of course Ty Katie and all the rest of the crew, and Eric Carter and everyone else here at the Vail Lake Bike Park for their part in the 2023 U.S. Pro Cup Vail Lake Edition. Couldn't do it without you. Let's, of course, not forget our sponsors. Title sponsor, Orange Seal, Violic Farms, Specialized Bicycles, Kenda Tires, ESI Grips, Athlos, Baghouse Industrial Sheet Metal, Dope BMX Products, and Next Level Performance Coaching. Garrett Jenema, Landon Farnworth, and Zach Petty, our last 3 riders to work through. Really? And it sounds like we have had a change up here at 3rd place. So Quentin DeSera and Andrew Lesperance were battling it out, and look at this move right here from the Canadian rider. That is Carter Woods, making a big move up the power climb. Putting the hurt there on Quentin DeSera, I believe. Sliding into 3rd place. Or 4th place, rather. Oh, really? So Quentin DeSera disappeared. Okay. Yeah, Max's jersey. So Carter Woods making some big moves here. Can't quite see where he's at. It looks like he has slid up into 4th place. Andrew Lesperance looking like he slid up into 3rd. Lesperance putting some time in between him and Carter Woods. And here we go. Any moment here, we are going to see Riley Amos at the finish line. Get ready. And Quentin DeSera also still riding strong. We're following him. And correction, Carter Woods, your number 1 rider, still looking in a strong position to finish top 3. Looks like likely Riley Amos making his way around the Great Oak and the dried up riverbed, wrapping up his descent and making his way to the finish line. Here he is, Riley Amos, your winner of the 2023 Elite Men's Race here at the U.S. Pro Cup at Vail Lake, brought to you by Orange Seal. Congratulations to Riley Amos in his first win in the Elite Men's category, a graduate of the Bear National Team, riding for the Trek Factory team. Solid performance, Riley. Way to go. Here comes your new number 2 rider, Braden Lang, in and home, grabbing the number 2 spot today. Way to ride strong, Braden. Looking at the time gap, 33 seconds. But Braden Lang having a strong finish. Right behind him, locking down 3rd. Carter Woods, 4th place, going to Quentin DeSera. And Quentin DeSera laying down the hurt on Andrew Lesperance. Andrew Lesperance coming in to grab that number 4 spot. Andrew Lesperance rounds out your top 5. Here comes Sean Fincham and Braden Johnson. Those 2 riders coming in 6th and 7th. All right, so rounding out our top 10, Robbie Day from the Bear National Team in 10th place. 9th place, that's going to go to Carson Beard for Durango Segment 28. In 8th, Kobe Freeburn from the Bear National Team. His teammate, Braden Johnson, locking down 7th. In 6th, that's Sean Fincham from the Barina Victoria Factory Team. Andrew Lesperance grabbing that last spot on the podium in 5th for Max's Factory Racing. For Pivot Cycles OTE, that's Quentin DeSera in 4th. 3rd place goes to Carter Woods for the Giant Factory Off-Road Team. 2nd place went for a great performance riding for the team Scott, represented by Orange Seal. That is Braden Lang. And your winner by 33 seconds for Trek Factory Racing, Riley Amos. seat. Got a microphone. Use the red one. Yeah. All right, I am here with our number 2 finisher, Mr. Braden Lang. Braden, take us through and tell us how the Scott machine was riding today.
Sweet. I was kind of starting in the back, so I could only move up and found my way up into the top 10 for the first lap, and yeah, it's right where I need to be.
Now, overall, talk us through here. Did it feel like the course suited you really well? Your fitness is in a really good spot? Or was there something else going on that led to that number 2 finish?
Yeah, fitness is super good. Just came off a 6-week block in Girona doing some UCI racing and stuff. And yeah, I like this style of racing. It's just fast, loose. Yeah, you can just pin it on the downhills. It's fun to hit some jumps and stuff too. So yeah.
What's that?
His mic's not on.
His mic's not on?
Yeah. Is it on?
Yeah, it's on. Hold on. Dead battery. Oh, we got dead batteries. Here, we'll just share this one here for a minute. Yeah, do over. So I heard you and Riley Amos talking a little bit of strategy there post-race. Talk us through kind of that strategy.
Yeah, when I caught him, I think it was the second lap on the final downhill. We just kind of sat up and let everyone else chase super hard, and we just kind of rode like high endurance tempo. And when we hit the first climb, we just drilled it super hard, opened up the gap again, and just kind of did that over and over again, and seemed to work out for us.
Well, right on. So would you say any spots on this course specifically that suited you well versus what did you find challenging out there on this course?
I mean, nothing too challenging. I feel like there's a lot of recovery time. You could drill it on the first and last climb. I enjoyed the jumps, so I could kind of recover there and recover on the final downhills when most people were, raising their heart rate and stuff. So yeah, I would say this course suited me pretty well.
Right on, Braden. Well, what's next for you?
I'm going to head to Fayetteville for those UCI races, and then the Lifetime Grand Prix and a bunch of gravel stuff. So it's kind of a last-minute decision to race these UCI races, but I'm happy I did.
Well, right on. We will see you in a couple of weeks at Fayetteville, and then we'll see you, I guess, at the Leadville 100 in August.
Yep.
Right on, man. Well, thanks for sitting down with us, and good job today on that second place.
Yeah, thank you.
We're going to go ahead and bring up Riley Amos now, our winner. Let's find out what he had to say about things. Well, Riley, it's been quite an exciting season. We've had some insane weather in southwest Colorado. Talk us through how that kind of affected or changed your training.
Well, I was fortunate enough that I've been home a total of 1 or 2 weeks since December. So, yeah, I've been hiding down in Arizona for all of January and February, minus a short stint to Europe, and then just spent the last 10 days in California with some teammates training. So I was home for 1 week in the last, 3 months. So, I mean, I love home, but not this year, not this time of year, that's for sure.
Yeah, it's been an awfully snowy winter, and it actually snowed this weekend in Dolores here where I come from. So it's been, no end in sight for winter in our neck of the woods. But talk us a little bit about your preseason races. We saw you at the Cactus Cup about 3 weeks ago, and you were absolutely dominating there, had a fantastic ride in the short track. You really kept it interesting and entertaining there. Do you find that these shorter courses with these rapid-fire different features tend to lend themselves better towards your specific riding style?
Well, obviously this year so far it's going really well on those style of tracks, but I think it's just like that kind of racing is really common in the U.S., so this is what we've grown up kind of racing from a young age, and we've been here to Vail Lake a couple times. This is the first elite U.S. Cup I've gotten to race here, but I think we grow up and a lot of the U.S. mountain bike scene grows up racing this kind of stuff, so it definitely was a strong suit out there today. I felt really comfortable.
Right on. So favorite part of your course out there?
Honestly, I love kind of the single track section out here where I just felt like you kind of get into a flow and can really focus on like being smooth, and it almost feels like you're just riding a moto section and you totally just find the flow and try and push the limits of those corners and pump and flow and carry as much speed as possible. That was really fun.
All right, now one final question for you. Let's imagine you forgot everything you know about nutrition. What are you going to be eating after the race?
I think a cheeseburger and soda sounds pretty good right now.
Right on, man. Well, Riley Amos, spectacular performance today. You really ran away with it. We'll see you down at the podium in just a few short minutes. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you, everyone who came out to cheer. I appreciate it.
Also joining us for the interview, the man from Giant, Carter Woods. Now, big misconception this always threw me off here. Giant makes regular-sized bikes for normal-sized people despite the name, correct?
That is true, yeah.
All right.
I've heard that one a few times.
Yeah, I just wanted to clarify that because sometimes they get confused.
yeah.
And so how was your Giant bicycle riding today?
It was lovely. Yeah, I mean, it was a super fast track, a few tactics, and yeah, I mean, coming from a few months in winter, it's nice to dust the cobwebs off for sure.
Yeah. Now, we've seen some of the specialized riders with some hush-hush top secret stuff they don't really want to talk about on their bikes. Are you trying anything out new as far as equipment this weekend?
I mean, coming onto a new team, everything is pretty much new this year, so just trying to get used to used to everything, new staff, everyone's been great, so no, it's been a great few months on the squad.
Right on. And talk us through your race a little bit. 7 laps in. Big course, lots of exciting features, lots of stuff going on. Take us through what this course is like racing from a mental standpoint.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a lot of aspects to this track. Obviously, it's a wide start, and then it goes into single track, so just trying to position yourself in the right area in the group to sort of go through the pinch points, and from there it's just following wheels, sort of, going from there.
Getting out there in the front and getting gaps over the rest of the field for sure.
Yeah, for sure. It was windy today too, so that was another aspect that we had to work with.
Yeah. Now, it's been a wild winter here for a lot of us, especially on the West Coast. Has that affected your training season at all?
I mean, I enjoy spending time at home, even if it's rainy, snowy, or whatever. I think it's good. We spend a lot of time on the road, so just it's a long season, so there's lots of time to get into tip-top fitness. So.
Right on. Well, Carter Woods, thank you so much, and great job today in that XCO Elite Cross Country race. And we look forward to seeing you down at the podium in just a few minutes.
Yes, thanks again.
Where are you going next? Fayetteville. Yeah? Yeah. I'll see you there.